Well, the offseason fastly approaching, the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to have a lot of positions to fill. Inside linebacker, cornerback, defensive line. But I think we can all agree that the top priority and the main position that they have to focus on and that they have neglected for some time now is the offensive line.
Most definitely. Definitely the O-line. I think a lot of us can agree on that. Is the O-line definitely needs to be rebuilt. More so that left side of the line. The three guys from center to right tackle, I think, are going to remain. They should remain. They're pretty good. Maybe some pay cuts are going to be happening here with those three guys, but no doubt the left side specifically needs to be filled, man. And the reason why we're still here, the reason why we're still talking about O-line is still a need is because the Steelers have done very little to address it. They have really band-aided the situation for how many years now? We all remember the Goon Squad days. We all remember the Mike Munchak days, man. Prime days of the Steelers O-line. The best line Ben's ever been in front of, man.
It's one of the reasons what extended Ben's career, honestly.
Yeah, it really has.
But when Mike Munchak left for Denver, the line was never the same. The Goon Squad was aging, and people were leaving for free agency or retiring. And all the Steelers really did to fix, quote-unquote, the offensive line was sign mid-free agents and draft mid-round players.
Talent, yes. I mean, first and foremost, one of the biggest evidences of them band-aiding the line is after Villanueva left, instead of going after a left tackle or going after a prime free agent or spending high draft capital on a left tackle or just O-line in general, they relied on someone that didn't have a lot of many starts in his career, and unfortunately, he would eventually have an ACL injury that would just end his tenure in Pittsburgh. That guy, Zach Banner. We all know the history of Banner, the charisma he brought to the locker room, the 72 is eligible. It was good. It was fun. But he was not starting worthy. He wasn't. But they relied on him and his hype to try to step it up. And he won the right tackle battle versus Chucks in the 2020 training camp battle. Unfortunately, he tore his ACL, and Chucks had to be the starting right tackle, and he started ever since. But even after the ACL injury, even after the very small amount of starts he's seen in his career, the Steelers still signed Banner to a 2-year contract. And after that contract, he'd only play 5 snaps in the upcoming season before being released. Yeah. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe in that season where after his contract extension, they tried to shift him to left tackle.
Yeah, which they did.
And because he wasn't healthy enough, that's why fourth round rookie Dan Moore had to be shoved into the starting role, which clearly he wasn't ready for, and honestly still isn't.
And although he showed progression, he showed growth throughout the games, you know, it gave us some optimism like, okay, he could be a serviceable tackle, he could be a solid starter on the offensive line, but last year showed he is not starter worthy. He should not be a starter on this line anymore.
No, his progression just was not met, and that's just a case of them relying on mid-round talent and small potential to try to save them and build that line. And I get you want to give the mid-round guys a chance, and you want to give the former rookie class a chance. I get that, but you got to understand the progression aspect, man. Like, yeah, he's young. He just came off his second year, but he's shown very little progression overall as a player, as a starter. So he should not return as the left tackle starter in my book, nor should left guard Kevin Dotson. First of all, I think he's out of position at left guard. I think we all agree he's better at right guard, but nonetheless, Dotson himself, a 4th-round pick, hasn't shown progression either in the past couple years. And I understand that the revolving door of O-line coach changes hasn't helped anyone's progression. It hasn't helped the scheme. They've had to change many techniques and learn new schemes and everything. But nonetheless, there's just no progression from these guys.
No.
And they keep relying on mid-round talent. And they even tried that with one of the worst draft picks I've ever seen the Steelers make. And it's just, it's still mind-boggling why they selected this man and the reasons they did and who they passed on for this guy. Kendrick Green. After Pouncey left, they took Najee and Pat, which we all love them. They're great players. They're going to be great offensive guys for the upcoming years.
If not already,
seriously. But
Center was
It was
important position.
It really was.
Like
there's certain
your Pro Bowl center, Marquise Pouncey, retires after several years with the Steelers.
and there's certain positions you just have to prioritize over others.
And they didn't even focus center in free agency, I don't think.
No.
And they had
because you know who they brought back? B.J. Finney.
That's right, they did.
Another example of them band-aiding the line, bringing back familiar faces, relying on mid-round talent, relying on unproven depth, not spending high draft capital on O-line, which is why we're making this video right now. We wouldn't be making this video if they focused on the line a little more. Instead, they relied on Kendrick Green and passed on Creed Humphrey. Twice.
And Kendrick Green was not a natural center. He had very minimal starts at center at the college level. Didn't work as a center.
And he's undersized. But they objected to switch him to center, name him pretty much the immediate starter, give him Pouncey's number, and the less said the better, because we all know how it turned out. And there's a reason he wasn't every game inactive last year. Why he has a roster spot, I don't know.
And that's when we switch him back to his natural position at guard, and he looks even worse there.
He is just terrible. I'm just going to put it that way.
That's a nice way to put it. But, I mean, the Steelers seem like they have their serviceable player right now at center in Mason Cole, who they signed in free agency last year.
Yeah, because they did put some focus on the line in the free agency last year. They signed Mason Cole. They signed James Daniels. But that's about it. They didn't draft nobody. They just kept the same mid-round guys to trust. Guys like Dan Moore and Kevin Dotson and even Chucks. But Chucks is solid. I think he deserves to return. A pay cut is definitely necessary, but I think Chucks should return. He's been very solid, man. Now, granted, Chucks might not return. Time will tell, but I think he deserves to return. But mostly that left side needs addressed, whether that's in free agency or in the draft or both. Maybe they sign a proven starting left guard. Maybe they go after a left tackle in the first round, which, as of right now, here we speak, I think you and I can agree, 17 should be a left tackle. Yeah. You could make your case for a corner, like a Joey Porter Jr., a Jordan Addison, maybe a D tackle, maybe a middle linebacker, right? You could make those cases, but line is a priority. A left tackle is a priority. We need a franchise left tackle.
You need that,
not a mid-round gap filler.
No, you need longevity at the left tackle position. And as of we sit right here, right now, by the time this video is uploaded, number 17 should be left tackle in their honest opinion. Now, there's a lot of capable guys there that could be there when it comes to left tackle at 17.
Yes, and you guys already know the names, man. And you guys can already anticipate in future mocks, man, left tackle will be the first pick. Spoiler alert, because that is a necessity. They have already band-aided most of the positions on the O-line for years now. Left tackle with Banner, Moore. Left guard with Dotson. Right guard with Trey Turner after DeCastro's injury pretty much ended his career. And the Steelers didn't even look well into his injury, which forced them to grab the next best option, which was Turner, instead of looking into his injury and then possibly making a move in the draft.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know what happened with center, so they've band-aided every position on the line in some form or fashion. They finally have 3 capable starters from center to right tackle. Just focus on the left line, and I think we're cooking.
It also seems like they finally have a dependable offensive line coach, Pat Meyer.
Because he's returning for his second year, I think.
Yeah, and he's shown, a lot of growth. A lot of growth has been seen on the offensive line, specifically the right side and the middle at center. And I think a lot of that has to do with Pat Meyer.
Yeah, and he even has a say in the running game, which is a good thing. So with him and boosting the left side of the line, I think the line next year could be very well, and I think Kenny can have a nice set of guys to protect him. Hopefully they put a focus on it. It seems like they are, because Mike Tomlin and company are at the Senior Bowl. Tomlin, Kahn, Ike Taylor, Brian Flores, guys like that. It seems like most of the main guys are there at the Senior Bowl. And Tomlin, man, he is zoning. He is eyeing O-line mostly,
which is great news to hear.
I mean, last year he didn't hide anything. It was no secret. He was dialing in on quarterbacks, which landed us Kenny. Now that he's dialing in O-line early, that's a great focus, and that's an indication where the Steelers might go. And for that, I give Tomlin a round of applause, and that makes me very optimistic for the upcoming draft.
Yes.
And, of course, for agency. So we'll see what the Steelers do, man. Hopefully they just fix up the line and prioritize it and spend some high draft capital on it for once. Because last time they did, we got some
it worked out,
guys.
man. It worked out. Marquise Pouncey and David DeCastro, we all know.
Exactly. And look what they did for the line for a decade.
Yeah.
So, seriously, man.
For the quarterback's career, man. And that's what you need to do for Kenny Pickett and the running game.
Exactly. So just put a high priority on the line, specifically the left side. And I think next year, man, we should be golden. So fingers crossed. Otherwise, man, let us know your guys' thoughts down below. Do you think the Steelers should draft O-line? Do you think they should draft O-line early? Could they wait? Should they pick up someone for agency? Who do you guys want them to grab? Let us know in the comments below. Otherwise, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at SteelTwins. And check out SteelYunders.com, man. We even did a whole article discussing a little bit more in depth of how the Steelers just neglected line for so long. So hopefully we won't have to say that no more. But they seem to have a focus on O-line, so we should see in a couple short weeks what the Steelers are going to do. So should be fun. Otherwise, see you into the next one.
And like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later.
Peace!